I know you've talked a lot with your clients about values.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of values do you have a set list of values that you go off of? Do you attack values differently for every business that you encounter? What's your kind of vision with that?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So every company, business, enterprise in the world, doesn't matter whether they're selling a product or a service, doesn't matter where they're selling it. Every business in the world has one thing in common. You know what that is? Culture. And the thing about every culture is the values are in there. If you're listening well to the people that you're talking to in a business and you're listening to learn, you'll hear those values. You just have to be able to call them out and put them in context. So I'll give you a couple of rules around values and their importance. Really well-run companies, the best run companies, the people think that they can name who the boss is, but in those companies, the boss is always the values, always, right? Think Amazon for a second. Relentless pursuit for the customer experience. Every decision made in that enormous enterprise is based on that value, right? If you install that value, if you hire people who have a relentless, unquenchable thirst for the customer experience, you're hiring the right character. The boss didn't make that decision, the value did. I'll give you a few others and how strong and important they are. Companies get core values wrong. If you look at a company's core values, honesty, integrity, right, truthfulness, they're missing the point. Values have to be actionable. So always tell the truth. They can't be vague. Do the right thing. Doing the right thing might be different for you than it is for me. So the first thing when you're really trying to understand the values of an enterprise is to listen to the people and the way they conduct their business internally and externally. They're in there. You just got to pull them out. We had a meeting with a large client yesterday and I was listening to them and we were talking a little bit about values and I was listening to them and I mentioned values and their importance, but I didn't go any further. And so you can see their eyes glaze over, senior leaders, when you say values. Oh, here comes the snake oil, right? And I respect that. But a little bit later on in the conversation, the chief operating officer mentioned something about a mistake that was made in the enterprise. It was a six-figure mistake, and how the person kind of being chastised for it. But he thought it was wrong, and he doesn't know how to fix it. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. Was it his fault, or was it yours? And he said, good question. I guess I have to take ownership for everyone that reports to me. That's a good start. But what did you do with your team to turn that problem into an opportunity? He said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, is it a $100,000 mistake, or is it a $100,000 training and education opportunity to bring everybody together? He said, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. And we talked about the concept of debrief, which is important as well. And as he was talking, he's like, actually, it's okay that he made the mistake. We can afford it. It hurts, but we learned a lot. And there's the core value. And here it is. Fail forward. It's okay to fail as long as we learn from it. Fail forward. And there's an actionable core value. So if somebody in the enterprise is really adhering to the principles and the importance of installed, it's a big word, core values, when they make a decision, they'll be like, it's okay. It's either going to go well or we're going to learn. And so the decision doesn't have to go up and down the hierarchy. And now the culture improves. Decision making is decentralized and people feel empowered. That's the importance of living with your values.